What's going on? I hope everybody's doing well. So today's episode, we got a very highly requested video. People want to know, how did you lose 20 pounds in 20 weeks? Now, before anybody else says, Phil, that's a super slow cut, you should have done it faster, you should have speeded it up, whatever the case is, just know that's just the strategy that I personally use. So basically, when I first started training, I was gaining weight extremely slowly, bulking up for years and years on end. The only time I ever lost weight on my weightlifting journey was when I had my ACL surgery around 2 years ago. So besides that, it was pretty much weight gain the whole time, and only now in around May, that's when I started cutting and I was losing a pound a week. Went from 234 to around 214, and now I'm actually at around 212. So it's going according to plan, and it's going well, and it's going very consistently, which is what's very important. Anybody could lose 5 pounds or 10 pounds very fast, but to lose weight very consistently, that's where the true question lies. So that's what today's episode is all about. Hope you guys learned something. Let's get into it. Another thing on this channel is that I haven't really posted many nutritional based videos, and that's because I personally think that gaining a bit of weight or losing a bit of weight is not the most complicated scenario on the planet. A lot of people make it seem like it's super complicated if you really want to get into the details, but if we're just talking about losing a bit of weight, gaining a bit of weight, it's really not as hard as people make it out to be. Also, every day you got new nutrition plans coming out. You know, you got keto diet, paleo, whatever the case is. But what you have to understand is that every nutritional diet has commonalities. You know, eat whole, unprocessed foods, manage your portions, meal timing, all that good stuff. So I'm not following any kind of diet per se. I'm just following a couple of essential guidelines that I'm going to be sharing with you guys in today's episode. So I'm not going to be starting off with the complicated stuff, starting off with super simple 5 tips. So let's get into it. So first things first, you have to know how to count calories, and you have to know how much food you're really getting into your body, because most people have no clue. Most people are over or underestimating how much they're really consuming, which is a huge problem, because if you want to have specific results, you got to take specific actions, and you can't just try to eyeball it for the most part, because if you're not experienced enough, you're probably really off. So there's a lot of apps for this, a lot of fitness apps that help you count your calories. So for example, if you're getting 3K calories a day and you want to lose a pound a week, you might need to drop it down around 2,500 calories, because there's 3,500 calories in a pound. So if you're in a 500 calorie deficit every day, you'll be losing around a pound a week on average, more or less. So secondly, I made water at least 95% of all my liquids, which you have to understand about water is a multitude of health benefits, but overall it's great for your digestive system, it's free, and it has 0 calories. So when I was trying to bulk up, I had a lot of milk, a lot of almond breeze, and that was helping me pack on the calories. When you're trying to cut, you want to do the opposite. You want to get more out of less calories. That's exactly what I was doing with the water. I didn't get those excess calories, but I was still getting my liquids in. So thirdly, and this kind of ties into my last tip, is that you always want to try to get more out of less calories. So when I was trying to bulk up, I would have a big bowl of pasta, but I would add a lot of stuff to it. I would add the extra cheese. I would add a lot of olive oil, because it would help me get more calories within that meal. But when you're trying to cut, it's the opposite effect. So I wouldn't have a lot of olive oil. A lot of times I wouldn't even put any at all. And I would put a lot of vegetables on all my dishes for lunches and dinner. And what this would do is that it would give me all the nutrients I would need, but it would also help me get more out of less calories, because a lot of vegetables don't have a lot of calories. So I would still get somewhat full, but I wouldn't have the excess in calories. So fourthly, this is the most important tip on the list, is that I drastically cut my meal portions, and I also cut my meal frequency as well, which I'll get onto later. But when I was weighing over 230, every meal was epic. I was eating like a king every single time. You know, when they talk about RPE training, well, I was going to RPE 10 on every single meal. I had absolutely nothing left in the tank. And was this necessary? Probably not. But was it working? Yes, and I was gaining weight. But at the same time, I don't recommend this. It wasn't the healthiest thing. Even though I was eating a lot of healthy foods for the most part, it was way too excessive. And also, my life was just eating for the most part. So I would have, you know, 6, 7 plus eggs in the morning with a bunch of stuff on the side. Then when it came to dinner time, I'd have a big bowl of pasta. Then a couple minutes later, another big bowl of pasta. And then sometimes I would even treat myself to a little dessert, like a quarter of a pecan pie, or sometimes even a half of it. So I was really pigging out. The weight was really piling on. I was getting bigger, but I was putting on a lot of unnecessary excess fat as well. Now when it comes to the cutting, it's a completely different ball game. The meal portions are drastically smaller, and that's perfectly fine because I'm going for a little bit of a different goal right now, if you will. So as far as my portions were concerned, back then it'd be 2 big bowls of pasta. Now it's maybe a fourth of that, and the rest of the bowl would be a lot of vegetables and have a bit of water on the side. So it's not as crazy as it used to be, but at the same time it's working for cutting weight because I'm managing my portions. As far as the dessert is concerned, there is no dessert. I don't deserve a dessert. And as far as the cheat meals are concerned, there are no cheat meals. Maybe once a month I'll have one cheat meal, and that's just to treat myself a little bit. So every 4 weeks, it's like you lose 4 pounds, you get one cheat meal. But I'm not gonna lose 1 pound and then eat a cheat meal. It doesn't work like that. So that's how it's been in my books. You lose 4 pounds, there's your cheat meal, then you restart the process. As far as the meal frequency is concerned, like I mentioned before, I'm still in the process of experimentation. I still don't know what works best for me. So lately what I've been doing that has been working was 3 meals a day that are around medium sized with a lot of unprocessed foods and just a lot of vegetables overall and water. That's what's been working for me, but I will be experimenting with 5 to 6 tiny meals a day just to see how my body responds to it. So be on the lookout for that. Last tip of the day is the conditioning. So I talked a little bit about my nutrition, now I'll be talking about my conditioning. So as far as that's concerned, twice a week at the end of my workouts, I would finish off with some carrying variation like a 1-arm farmer walk or some jump roping. So nothing too crazy here, no sled pushes or anything like that, nothing fancy, but it still got the job done. So if you have access to a jump rope, definitely use it. You could do some harder variations where you jump on 1 foot, you could do double leaps, whatever the case is. But that's just what I would do, around 20 minutes after 2 of my workouts every week. There you guys have it. Hope you guys learned something today's episode. 20 pounds in 20 weeks, that's how I personally did it, and I'm still counting. I'm still trying to reach 205, then eventually 200, and I should be pretty satisfied there as far as health and leanness is concerned, and then I'll elaborate on the next goal after that. But overall, so far I'm feeling really good. If you really like this episode, stay tuned. I got new episodes coming in on how this cut made me feel overall, the benefits, the pros, the cons, whatever, and that's just about it. So subscribe to the channel, let me know what you think down below. This is why I like the slow cut and I like the slow bulk. So that's my process. See you guys next time.